Money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life.
Look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. You're a champion. Make as much money as you possibly can. You retire, and then there's no more money. And Floyd's like, let me just box some people that have zero chance.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather just destroyed Joe Rogan's narrative about his finances, and the receipts he's showing have the entire combat sports world doing a complete 180 on the broke Floyd story. Sources claim Floyd went nuclear on social media after Rogan's podcast comments spread like wildfire, suggesting Money Mayweather lost over $1 billion. People close to Floyd's team say he's had enough of the financial failure narrative and decided to set the record straight with actual numbers that prove Joe Rogan got it completely wrong. Reports suggest the explosion started after Joe Rogan's podcast episode, where he questioned Floyd's motivations for fighting 3 times in 2026.
On that, and it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right.
Insiders say Rogan told his millions of listeners that Floyd spends money like it's a tap, and implied financial desperation was forcing the comeback. According to people who heard the podcast, Rogan specifically said Floyd has lawsuits piling up, unpaid debts everywhere, and needs to come out of retirement just to pay bills. The comments went viral across social media platforms within hours.
You have that money, the trappings of wealth, you know, competing with all this other, getting your own private jet, all that stuff. It's like, ooh.
I learned from him because the people with the real wealth, you don't know they got the wealth.
Right.
Floyd's team apparently saw the clips and immediately started preparing a response. Sources claim Floyd's business manager, Leonard Ellerby, compiled financial documents showing Floyd's actual net worth and career earnings to counter Rogan's claims.
Picking up on Oscar, you said you've not liked him for a number of years. Yeah. And what is it about him that's
He's always been jealous of Floyd. And if that ain't obvious, I don't know what it is.
Insiders say Floyd was furious because the billion-dollar loss narrative was being repeated as fact when the real numbers tell a completely different story. People close to the situation report Floyd said something like, "Joe Rogan doesn't know anything about my money, and I'm about to educate him publicly."
Flawless or pristine. Those flawless or pristine, they will tell you I was the first one wearing the Patek Philippe. You know, I was the first one with the. I got this. I got this over 10 years ago.
The Instagram post that Floyd dropped was apparently loaded with screenshots and financial proof, according to witnesses.
です。ここからいい？このまま続けちゃう。
これ保留していただいて。
あ、保留した。
保留した。ちょっと待って。じゃあ。
でもまだこの人割り当ててない。
Reports suggest Floyd showed his Sportico ranking as the 6th highest earning athlete of all time, with inflation-adjusted career earnings of $1.2 billion. Floyd mentioned that this is money he made, not money he lost, directly contradicting the narrative that over $1 billion somehow disappeared. Sources say the post included specific fight purses, $300 million from the Manny Pacquiao fight in 2015, $275 million from the Conor McGregor bout in 2017, and massive paydays from his other super fights throughout his career.
That's crazy, the laugh faces. Although Floyd Mayweather Jr. made hundreds of millions of dollars from his professional boxing career and topped the Forbes list as the highest paid athlete from 2012 to 2014, the boxer is said to have been shortchanged and filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Showtime. The lawsuit filed Tuesday, and obtained by ESPN seeks to recover hundreds of millions of dollars, misappropriated funds, and damages resulting from a long-running and elaborate scheme of financial fraud.
Then Floyd shifted to addressing the lawsuit situation that Joe Rogan mentioned.
And pay-per-view money, a significant portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly.
Insiders claim Floyd clarified that he filed a $340 million lawsuit against Showtime and Al Heyman for money owed to him, not the other way around.
I think 9 years, probably something like it. It could have been 7 years. I don't know. And I went to his turn.
Floyd's legal team apparently provided documentation showing that Showtime and his former advisor allegedly defrauded him by diverting purse money into accounts Floyd never authorized. According to sources, Floyd said, "Joe got it backwards. People owe me hundreds of millions. I don't owe them."
None of these guys with him. None of them.
Is it sad to see sort of the way things are going between him and Floyd? I don't know how much you can touch on that, over social media. I know there's a lot of promoting. Can you say anything about that? Or
Leonard Ellerby jumped into the conversation on Twitter defending Floyd's financial position. Reports suggest Ellerby posted a thread breaking down exactly how much money Floyd has made and kept from his career.
Over $500 million in real estate deals in just about 6 months. And you have invested in real estate before, but tell us, why was now the time to go big?
For years, I've invested in real estate, mainly in commercial.
Ellerby mentioned Floyd's real estate portfolio, including his custom Las Vegas mansion, multiple properties in Los Angeles, and commercial investments. Sources say Ellerby specifically addressed the Manhattan penthouse dispute that Rogan brought up, explaining it was a lease disagreement over damages, not unpaid rent, and the amount in question was under $100,000, not millions.
Quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
Trying to get money, a whopping $340 million. He's suing you supposedly. Have you gotten the paperwork for that? What's the latest on that?
I have not seen the paperwork. And I've been in touch with attorneys. Obviously, I've seen the reports. I've seen the descriptions. And as usual, the attorneys don't want me out there publicly saying it. So I can't talk about the specifics of that, but
Stephen Espinoza, who was named in Floyd's lawsuit, apparently declined to comment on the social media situation.
I was going to say, you guys worked together for such a long time. I'm guessing there was like a relationship there, maybe a friendship. Are you a little disappointed about it?
I'm definitely disappointed and surprised. I haven't talked to him about it. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from, but it's a mystery in a lot of ways.
Insiders claim Espinoza's legal team advised him to stay silent while the litigation is ongoing. But boxing media members started digging into the Showtime lawsuit details and found that Floyd's claims about missing money are well documented with specific wire transfer records and contract violations. People close to the legal proceedings say Floyd has a strong case that could result in him collecting most of that $340 million.
Got sued. He's been sued multiple times for the same fight. Yo, something's going on, and there's one side that's very clear to see is...
Logan Paul weighed in on the debate with his own perspective about Floyd's money situation. Sources claim Logan went on Instagram Live addressing his $1.5 million payment dispute with Floyd from their 2021 exhibition.
Whereas a normal promotional company will take 30%. He is that. And so oftentimes for his fights, before the tickets can go on sale to the public, or like right as they go on sale, he'll buy a whole wing, a whole section, and then he'll sell them at a higher price marked up so he can make,
like all the floor seat. He takes all of them.
All of them.
Logan mentioned that Floyd pre-sold their fight to a Middle Eastern company for $10 million cash, and Logan's 15% cut from that deal never got paid. According to people watching, Logan said he doesn't think he'll ever get that money, but clarified that $1.5 million is pocket change to Floyd compared to the hundreds of millions Floyd is making from his 2026 fight schedule.
And so with this particular lawsuit, he had an investor pay $1.4 million in total for this section, and the investor was promised that the seats would sell at I think a 7 to 8x multiple, and he expected a return on his investment, and sure enough, he didn't get his initial investment back. He's strung along.
Al Heyman's camp released a statement through their attorneys defending against Floyd's fraud allegations. Reports suggest Heyman's legal team claims every transaction was properly documented and approved by Floyd or his representatives. But Floyd's attorneys fired back with emails and text messages showing Floyd repeatedly questioned certain payments and never received satisfactory answers. Insiders say the discovery process in this lawsuit could expose how boxing's biggest deals are structured behind the scenes. Joe Rogan apparently didn't respond directly to Floyd's social media posts initially. Sources say Rogan's team watched the situation unfold and decided to let it cool down before addressing it on the podcast. But boxing analysts started fact-checking Rogan's original claims and found several inaccuracies. People in sports media pointed out that Rogan conflated Floyd having legal disputes with Floyd being broke, which are completely different situations. Insiders claim Rogan's comments were based on media reports rather than actual financial documentation. Teddy Atlas gave his analysis of the Floyd versus Rogan situation on his podcast. Reports suggest Atlas said both sides have valid points. Floyd did make over $1 billion in his career, but he also has a lifestyle that burns through money extremely fast. Atlas mentioned Floyd's car collection worth over $30 million, private jet expenses, and entourage costs that run into millions annually. According to sources, Atlas said the real question isn't whether Floyd is broke, but whether he's liquid enough to maintain his lifestyle without continuing to fight. The 3-fight schedule for 2026 became the center of debate about Floyd's motivations. Insiders claim Floyd's team explained the Mike Tyson exhibition in May, Mike Zambiti's fight in June, and Manny Pacquiao rematch in September are strategic business decisions, not desperation moves. Floyd mentioned through his representatives that he's being offered massive guarantees from Netflix and other platforms specifically because his name still drives viewership numbers that nobody else in boxing can match. Sources say Floyd's guaranteed purse for the Pacquiao rematch alone is rumored to be over $100 million before pay-per-view points. Dana White surprisingly sided with Floyd in the controversy. Reports suggest White posted on social media that fighters making smart business decisions to maximize earnings shouldn't be criticized. White mentioned that Floyd revolutionized how fighters negotiate and get paid, and coming back at 49 to make another $100 million is genius, not desperation. According to insiders, White said, "Joe Rogan is my guy, but he's wrong on this one. Floyd isn't broke. He's making more money than any boxer in history." The IRS tax situation that media outlets brought up got clarified by Floyd's accountants. Sources claim Floyd's team released a statement explaining that the tax extension Floyd requested years ago was standard practice for high net worth individuals with complex international income streams. The extension was granted, the taxes were paid in full with penalties, and Floyd's current tax status is completely clean, according to his financial advisors. Insiders say dragging up old tax issues to suggest current financial problems is misleading and intentionally damaging to Floyd's reputation. CompuBox analyst Dan Raphael analyzed the financial math of Floyd's 2026 schedule. Reports suggest Raphael calculated that even with modest viewership numbers, Floyd will clear at least $200 million from his 3 fights this year. Raphael mentioned that Floyd's exhibition against Logan Paul generated over $50 million just for Floyd, despite being a non-sanctioned bout against a YouTuber. According to sources, Raphael said the broke narrative makes 0 sense when Floyd is commanding purses that dwarf what current champions make. Manny Pacquiao's promoter Jas Mathur addressed the money motivations question in an interview. Insiders claim Mathur said both Floyd and Manny are making generational wealth from their September rematch, but neither fighter needs the money to survive. Mathur mentioned that Manny has his political career and business investments in the Philippines, while Floyd has built a promotional company and various ventures. Sources say Mathur explained they're fighting because the demand is there, and Netflix is willing to pay record-breaking guarantees. The Showtime lawsuit discovery process started revealing interesting details about fight purses. Reports suggest court documents showed that Floyd was supposed to receive certain back-end percentages from international broadcast deals that never materialized in his bank account. Legal experts reviewing the case mentioned that if Floyd can prove the diversion of funds, the damages could exceed even the $340 million he's claiming. According to insiders, this lawsuit could set precedents for how fighters protect their earnings from promotional companies and advisors. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith gave his take on First Take about the Floyd Rogan situation. Sources claim Stephen A. defended Floyd's financial acumen, pointing out that very few athletes successfully transition from active competition to business mogul status. Stephen A. mentioned Floyd's promotional company has signed multiple fighters and generated revenue independent of Floyd's own fights. According to people who watched the segment, Stephen A. said, "Floyd Mayweather is a lot of things, but broke ain't one of them. The man has made more money than most corporations." Max Kellerman disagreed with Stephen A. on certain points during their First Take debate. Reports suggest Max said while Floyd isn't broke, his spending patterns do suggest he needs regular, large influxes of cash to maintain his lifestyle. Max brought up Floyd's history of owing back taxes, the Logan Paul payment dispute, and the Manhattan penthouse situation as evidence of cash flow issues, even if the overall net worth is high. According to insiders, Max argued that needing to fight at 49 suggests financial pressure regardless of total career earnings. Floyd's response to Max Kellerman's analysis was swift, according to sources. Insiders claim Floyd posted on Instagram stories showing recent bank statements with balances blurred but clearly showing 8- and 9-figure amounts. Floyd mentioned that he doesn't need to fight but chooses to because he's still the biggest draw in combat sports and platforms are willing to pay him more than anyone else. Sources say Floyd specifically addressed the needing money narrative by saying, "I made more in interest last month than most fighters make in their whole career." The betting market shifted after Floyd's financial disclosure posts. Reports suggest odds makers had initially given Pacquiao better odds in their September rematch under the assumption Floyd was rusty and desperate for money. But after Floyd showed his financial strength and business confidence, the lines moved back toward Floyd being the favorite. Insiders claim Vegas bookmakers said fighters who are financially desperate sometimes take unnecessary risks, but Floyd's posts showed he's approaching this as a calculated business decision which favors his defensive style. Boxing promoter Bob Arum gave an interview addressing the controversy. Sources say Arum, who has dealt with Floyd in the past, confirmed that Money Mayweather is extremely shrewd with his finances despite the flashy lifestyle. Arum mentioned that Floyd negotiates every contract detail personally and understands the business side better than most promoters. According to reports, Arum said the media narrative about Floyd being broke is wishful thinking from people who want to see him fail. The final blow to Joe Rogan's narrative came when financial journalists fact-checked the billion-dollar loss claim. Insiders say multiple business publications, including Forbes and Bloomberg, confirmed that Floyd's current net worth is estimated between $400 and $500 million, and his career earnings exceed $1.2 billion. The math shows Floyd spent approximately $700 to $800 million over his career on lifestyle, taxes, and investments. But calling it gone ignores that some of that spending went into assets and businesses that generate ongoing revenue. Sources claim financial experts said this spending pattern is actually conservative compared to other athletes who made similar amounts. Joe Rogan finally addressed the situation on his next podcast episode after the backlash. Reports suggest Rogan clarified that he wasn't saying Floyd is broke or lost $1 billion, but rather that Floyd's spending habits necessitate continued income at a level most people can't comprehend. Rogan mentioned he still believes Floyd's 3-fight schedule in 2026 is motivated by maintaining his lavish lifestyle rather than pure love of competition. According to sources, Rogan said, "I wasn't trying to say Floyd's broke. I'm saying he spends so much that even $1 billion isn't enough to retire on for him." Floyd's final Instagram post on the controversy showed him in his car collection warehouse. Sources claim the video panned across dozens of luxury vehicles, while Floyd narrated about how building wealth means making smart investments and business decisions. Floyd mentioned that fighting at 49 on his own terms for massive guaranteed money is the definition of financial intelligence, not desperation. Insiders say Floyd ended the video by saying, "Joe Rogan entertains people by talking. I entertain people by making hundreds of millions. We're both good at what we do."